See, I wanted to uh, narrate this. Nana, what I had written very recently on a love story. Okay, it's a very romantic, supposed to be a very romantic love story. இது வந்து Romeo and Juliet's version. Okay, it's a new version of. We all would have forgotten about Romeo and Juliet also. Okay, it's a if Shakespeare had been alive, he would tell me, this is not what I had written, but I would tell him this is what I have written. Okay, now this Romeo and Juliet, because it's of the romantic era that I am thinking about, and I'm thinking about in five different parts. Okay, where five different couples are coming together, and what happens in their life. Okay, every part, part one, part two, part three, part four, part five. These are something because it's titled Romeo and Juliet. It is together as part one, two, three, four, five. Now, when I want to say if part one is something that is proceeding, I would say no. The part two is proceeding in a way that the continuity is not lost, but we have different people who are coming into the different parts of the new version of Romeo and Juliet as how I have given this here. Okay, this is the first copy as how I have written, and this is scene one. Okay, I'll just read out what I have written. This is not to screen as how I have written. This is something don't commit and don't tell me it had not worked out. I'm giving you because I want to get this out in a print copy also. Okay, now this is something that I like to do, and this was written in just about the weekend, the Saturday and Sunday. Okay, I was able to complete this on a Saturday and Sunday. And that's how I had written. I had typed it out also. I had set it ready for the print copy of the book that to be published. So if you think the script has to come first before you could take the film, and I would always request G.V. Menon, Gautam Vasudev Menon, so that he understands better that if he has been molding me with the kind of heroines that he has listed out in all his various films. Okay, as part of scene one, part one. Okay, it's a flashback where there's a community chaos. It's a chaos, and it's a chaos on the dance floor, non-ballet, mystic hippopotamus, the happy anymore couple on tires, on a cream of leaf, on a baked and a serving on banana leaf. Visitors arrangements in question. Now, this is a kind of an anecdote that I had picked up on, and this is something one of my favorite, okay, or the best of my favorite, where I had identified Rahul and Sanjay and Bharat and some of the very நிறைய பசங்க இருக்காங்க, a lot of student scholars, Isaac, a lot of them, the best of the people who would they are so committed, they are so involved in so many of the different media outputs that they are working with. ஸோ காயத்ரி மேம் இப்போ என்ன ரீசெண்டாக கதை யோசிச்சு வச்சுருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு நினச்சாங்கன்னா, I would say this is the story that I have recently thought of and I have written it down. Okay. Uh, Ahul. Ahul is okay, but I'm talking about Agul. Okay, wow. This Rahul and Agul. We are very small waves. Okay, we are what we're thinking about, and this is the kind of a uniform that I had wanted my student scholars, women student scholars, to wear when I run a college or institution like that. Where the cinema and where the love of learning arts the love of learning music, the love of learning these kind of things, as how I was also like got involved in. So this is the kind of a uniform that I had imagined, that this is how my student women's college would also look like. And I have one of this, you see. Okay, so it's blue and white, and we need not have a coat or something like that, because I think this is comfortable enough that we wear. Okay, and it has a pocket also. We have a pocket, and we can have certain things, a mobile or a phone or something, a notepad or something that we can carry. Okay, so that your hands are free, and you know. Okay, on the contrary, a neck toad. Now, this is what where I'm moving into the part one. A well made, handcrafted kalpadruma, can it hurt the person to whom it's been gifted to? Just with a bunch of red roses to hold in? On a day of wedding where a lad in invite sought, brothers fought in hitting on who sets to make things better, life easier. How weird. The banana leaf on serving the food much simpler, not to waste any. A seat next to me closes her leaf without finishing. To a BGM so vulgar and obscene sung of old style movie collection in fond memories, a man obstinate and in fighting spree brings a line of young girls showing the banana leaf that how already been served and still eating, says when she gets up you all can sit there, and that is how you eat. Such innocent girls, children waiting in queue, nodding to what that man, a stranger, said. I didn't know how to slap him as I was still eating, and I rather chose to bang his head on the table and threw him out to bang across the wall with a hit run over his head again and again with much greater impact that he dare not repeat to any children, and showed the children the other direction where they can sit and have their food for the wedding they had come to attend. As the hit fell on the person who sets in for the righteous couples in vow, she later chose not to leave the stranger man with just that, but the magnetic bullet train would suck him and churn his head to finer paste, a cream of rose that could match along the leaf, perhaps in rebirth. Jack, bring back my scooter. You don't seem to find any worth of it. I can't let that be with you for your saying that. I really did mean it, and I wanted my scooter to be left where I live, not to where he roams around seeking the better. I have no doubt on him. He takes a very good care of anything he has, but he is always challenged for that, and a lens in the worst of its scoops and lands in the worst of its scoops. Never again. In a dance pub, this is scene two. In a dance pub disco, Vidalat, a modern spring with fin boosters. The herald of housey lousies stepped out to find their matches on the dance floor, swagging in moves if the moves are comfortable and leveled up. Young men and women, lads and ladies, and misters in form dancing to tunes as the jockeys play at random, teeth a teeth. Sensing the troubles that it may end up with, the mamas, the madams, and the mummies shut their doors of none of their girls visit the pubs, not just late nights, not even for the early dawns. The fairies on floor all left at once, with a twills and twist around the chap realized that much a very few moves ahead in times, setting the tunes himself to play just a part. He ran upstairs and finds a couple getting down the stairs, gazing into him, and walking past, he runs into the pub and to the floor, much inside the cabinets, to find any. None of them there. He sat down on the chair and the round table pulled up closer to rest some moments bygone. He finds the girl in his memory, the lover's Dale, and the bouquet intact with all smiles, smiling back at me. A dash of young men arrive holding out to a handshake, calling themselves Juliet. Romeo, is he a cameo? Romeo, is he a cameo? Julia, et al. Epalas, Juliet. Jolio, e pala, Juliet. Where north met south, south met north after ages. Scene 3. The young women who found true love in the young men they chose refuses to marry. The marriage counts. A young man coaxes his lady love to be solemnized in wedding and begs her for their proposal to be in the marriage ceremony. She commits that she loves him truly and does not want him into marriage. Pruzel, and she fears that it would end up their relationship in love. She convinces him that this love is more peaceful than the marriage that he seeks to solemnize. They are arguing over which is better for them. The man wants to wed the woman whom he found so dear to him. Letting go may find more intrusions from many between them both. They venture out to a marriage council. They meet the person in the first cabin who shows them the way to the cabin next. One of men in black, seeing them arrive to his cabin, stands to lift up the blinds for the ventilation. For a ventilation. Both took seats before him and tries to give their point of views of what could be possibly be better for them. He just listens and lets them speak. The young man asks, "What will I do if I let her go?" He shows him a seat in the cabin straight across his position, sidelined within the cabin. The best part of himself that he could support. The young woman tells him, "Have you known a woman who had been kept holy without marriage, taking that to be a sin? Have you known about a woman who proved all her love were and are true to the person she came with? How many in them all? Do you know what she was known to be? Do you know when a woman said that if you truly love the person, you set it free, let it go, and if it returns, it's true and yours, or it had never been before? Either the men understood it's a fix and just a fixation problem, and the women couldn't just trust and to embark on the man that he might be crucified for all his goodness because of her being holy and not to be tempted to sin. He stands making the first move to leave, while she pulls him to sit and she gets up to leave. "I must go first, and I shall leave." While the marriage council stood, both of them left together, profusely, profoundly, prolific, prosperous. A man without a word brought them together, made them speak their minds and hearts in unison, and in smiles bid them farewell, the hand held in good wishes. Sitting in the car in their silence, both gazes each other and fell silent once again in deep thoughts. He holds up the box of rings that he had for them. He wears hers on her finger. He wears hers on her finger, and his he wears it himself. The same pattern, beautiful rings, nothing more. He says, "I take you to wed this day. Give me the date, month, year, and your time, as it is in mine to be the same. I vow to you that we become husband and wife from this day on in trust and hope in each other. She listened to every word carefully of what he said. He meant them as such, and she said yes. The car is around 8 lakhs worth, not anything more than a marriage hall. They found solace and peace in each other. When they stepped out of the car and walked a little distance further together, hand in hand, they knew to return to their car and who takes the driver's seat and how far the distance they take and make the journey on happily ever after. Scene 4. In a beautiful home, dining, the center dining table huge enough to hold its guests, and two small children having their breakfast. The girl, her gruel, as she prepared herself, and the boy made his porridge ready for the breakfast. The boy offers the girl his porridge, but the girl refuses. She says, "Eat what you make." He says, "Let me just taste it to see if you are having your dish good enough, or you may have my porridge if you may like it." She says, "No, have yours." Their mummy comes in to see if they are having the breakfast proper without a fuss and asks them if she may prepare her own with their permission given. The girl grants at once and waves off. "Go, go, make it." The boy offers his porridge to her, saying, "Auntie, have some." At once the girl jumps, holding her chair. "Daya, mummida, avana mammada, auntie illa." "Then why you refuse my porridge?" the boy starts sharply. The mama offers to taste both their breakfast and finds them great and decides to go make her own to prepare. Going the adjacent way on the modulars lined up in the kitchen, she waits to decide what to make for herself. A huge magnetic sheet, invisibly invincible, behind her as a chimney is to be lit. Not yet. She takes two slices of breads and a box of something for the dining table, and chunks. She drops them all, leaving the box open. She picks them as her children comes running to help her out before she could slog all alone. They helped her back into its box, and she puts it back in its cupboard and decides to have a glass of juice rather. She sits along with her children, and the children, finding the diet less of energy, offers her full cream over the breads. The mother, the car, Mio, in the roads, while her children in the Jolien's lilies. Romeo and Juliet Part 2. It's a new version. Scene 5 of 1, 1 of 5. The 5 of 1 or the 1 of 5. The 1 repeats in 5, the 5 of 1, 1 of 5. And this is how I had drawn it to be. Where the bros meet the eyes. Where the bros meet the eyes. Scene 1, Part 2. It's a new version. When did I close my eyes and sleep? In deep thoughts, or some time ago or long ago, I'm still recollecting. The brows, the lids, and my eyes. See too, my brows may remind me it is not Shukla, but have come to Krish. So the Shukla reminds Krish, or Krish reminding Shukla. What to be reminded? Further, after carried out the thoughts in action, it comes so naturally, generation to the next, whether given, entrusted. or with guaranteed warranties. Forgo when the thoughts don't guide you in your actions. You clear your doubts only with who can clarify. Not people or person who brings you to chaos, waiting to counsel that they may reap its benefits. Scene 3. Juliet and Romeo sat face to face to speak their minds. Just not the eyes that meet, just not the minds that speaks. Without a word uttered between them, Romeo and Juliet sits facing each other for hours. No words, no action, no food, no book, no laptops, no mobile phones, not even a vase or a candle. How long you think? They just sat there the entire day facing each other, without a touch, without a word, no one mediating between them. When they were to leave, he passed on a note and she returned a note to it. She did not keep it to herself. That was the only very slightest misunderstanding, he thought. She should keep it to herself. She thought he wanted it back. Scene 4. When the bros meet the eyes, the mind pass the messages. Scene 4. When the bros meet the eyes, the mind pass the messages. Scene 5 of 1. 1 of 5. Romeo and Juliet. Moving to part 3, new version. This is how I had written. I drawn part 2, end of part 2. Complete scene 5 of 1, 1 of 5. And this is how I had written. Moving to part 3. Bolavia, Bolavia, tell me please. Say it once, just once. You're so overwhelmed, so excited, and you don't want to say anything. Not of the fears. The love has its own laden trouble. A love bite is not so preponderous with anyone, anytime, anywhere. It makes the apple sour. A taste of it is too very dangerous. To share for the multitudes that come your way. Romeo begs her all the time, and Juliet never openly acknowledges, fearing that theirs could become so jealousy for many and may bring him more enemies his way. Bolo, please, say it once. Say it once for all. Never will I ask you again. As Romeo begs, Juliet keeps her lips tight lipped for too long that she couldn't bear anymore. Juliet says, no, don't you know why then you asked me to say? Romeo, not just once, not just twice, but thrice. Why would you not acknowledge that my love is true for you? Juliet, let me confess, not just once, not just twice, but thrice. I am to love thee, and I loved you, and I love you evermore, more of it, saying it or no. To that, Romeo asks, what's my first, what's my second, and what's my third? Juliet says, first in all that you felt once, second in all that you thought twice, third in all that you made thrice. Not seeing Juliet, Romeo all the while. What's in my first? What's in my second? What's in my third? Juliet, do you not know that I love thee truly? Juliet spoke her words very gently. I shall show you what's in your first, but not second and third. Romeo asks, why not? Why not all three I can see? To that Juliet says, have you ever seen me once? The day you see me, I shall show you. Your second and the third. Romeo left three roses and not anyone more. Romeo felt Romeo left three roses and not anyone more. Part 4, Romeo and Juliet, new version, and this is how I had drawn. Scene 5, 1 of 5, 5 of 1. Romeo and Juliet. Part 4, Scene 1. I knew the arches aligned, next to next, opposite each other, not facing each in the direction that you may counter and counterfeit every other, until nothing remains in treachery for the blind treasures that don't exist, not before, not again, never. When Romeo warded the evil eye, Juliet prayed fervently. When Romeo felt himself the Lord, Juliet felt in anguish never to return. Romeo asked, can you fill up mine? Juliet digs a grave so enormous that a foundation's fountain is rising up when I enter its grave. Romeo's friend, how can anybody step in yours? Romeo's foe, I may try if you're next to me. Juliet sees both the friend and the foe. To Romeo, she says, the grave is too small and I find you three too big. Romeo, so well, my Juliet, can we both try and leave the friend and the foe to rest? So well, my Juliet, can we both try and leave the friend and the foe to rest? Juliet, oh my Romeo, how much I love you. If I try you, will I not try your friend and foe alike? What difference does it have in any? When the earth shook its walls, the trough could fill only its archives, and there may not be anything more than a 4 above 3 and a 5 above 4. Juliet goes on with her calculations and how valuable love is to her. Romeo stopped, Romeo's friend stopped, and Romeo's foe too stopped. But Juliet went on. The values more. The backstory. On the Hind, the mountains run, where the Hindu fought with its Hindi over a small issue, though strictly English. The English carols came for the quarrels, the English pearls came for the perils, the English gems came for the Gen Z. The English petals came for the ponds, the English metals came for the wands. The English ink came for the scrolls, the English pink made the trolls. Celia, sail! Not while a single lily for the willy, a lot of us kept in waiting. Oh, the book set its worm and left becoming a butterfly. When the winds blew harsh, the butterfly returned. So many lives felt on its colors, competing with the flowers that lay beneath their imprints. Part 5, Romeo and Juliet, new version. Scene 1. Punch, Shields, Punch, the greatest five ever that made history and always make history. So Romeo and Juliet hurried, making histories anew. while Romeo's roped in Juliet's and Juliet's roped in Romeo's. They always fell for it without a fuss, without a skip. It is genetically attuned. No one beats it up. That is how it is said to have shielded against the blades of the fans or the blades of the grass, the blades that you shave, the blades you cut, or the blades that you make carve of all that you crave. Scene 2. Romeo knew the punch philosophies in many ways, but he had only one, the Juliet in all. All the five different? Yes. All the five same? Yes. All the five yours? Yes. All the five not yours? Yes. All the five you? Yes. All the five not you? Yes. I is you? No. I is you? No. I is you. No. Scene 3. When is a dollar? When is a pendant? Yes. When is a dollar? Yes. When is a doll? Yes. When is a pen? Yes. When is a rupiah? Yes. When rupiah is a dollar? Yes. Is? Yes. So day is night and night is day? No. So day is night and night is day? No. Scene 4. When Romeo always found these answers from Juliet after the 6, the 7 is never affirmative. Why? Why not? 7 is symbolic. There is no question to it. It cannot be answered and never to be answered. If a question arises, it may fetch many answers. When the answer key is given, there is no question. Scene 5 of 1 of 5. Romeo asked Juliet, finding all the meanings to what she said. Romeo, when can I have just a question and an exact answer to it? Juliet said, when you are satisfied with the question. When you are satisfied with the question, and it is exclamatory. The question mark, and it's an exclamatory mark. Question. Question. Do you know the difference of love? Arranged. Answer. Yes? No? Romeo. Did you receive marmalins? Juliet. You know not their perils. You will not get even a quantum rise of their soil. Romeo. I sail through to find any in the ocean. Juliet. Fair, seafarer. He stands to testify the godly. Fair seafarer, he stands to testify the godly. End of part 5. And this version is completed. I have different couples, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. And this is so very lovely that I felt it so good, so vibrant, and so Kanuni Kaha. And this is something that I thought it is not end with part 4. There is also part 5 to it, and there is only one question, and there is only and can be only one answer to it. And it's not a quintal, It's not a quintal, it's not a quint, it's a quantum of the rise of the soil that you're looking for, and you will not get it. Seafarer, he goes around to see if the rice is available to find any in the ocean. It's nice. That's a new version of the Romeo and Juliet.